Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. We got some breaking news. It was announced earlier, about 8 hours ago, that Chase Venstra has been cleared of charges, cleared of association with the outcome of Dylan Rounds' disappearance. Now, Chase Venstra is one of two key suspects within the case, the other one being Jim Brenner. Originally, as a quick backstory, Chase Venstra was sent to jail because of a search warrant on his property, and that search warrant was to do and tied with a homicide case. That was because Chase owned firearms, and he did as well back in 2016. So upon searching his trailer, finding guns, I guess they tied that and associated it with Dylan's disappearance and like with the blood on the boots, trying to establish a link there. Now, in the midst of this, the news report did show some audio response from Candice Cooley, Dylan Rounds' mother. Let me share that with you now, and then we'll break it down.
I'm not surprised they don't find anything physically, because that desert is unforgiving.
So the mother's response was, I'm not surprised they didn't find anything out there physically, like physical evidence, because the land is so vast. Well, that's true. There's a lot of land to cover. But what does she mean by I'm not surprised? Who is she referring to? Is this old footage or old audio that has been used in this recent news article report? Because we've got to be very careful here, because you can interpret it many different ways. It could be interpreted as the mother's response to no evidence being found tied to Chase, or this could be an old piece of audio towards the start of the case in which there wasn't much progression made by the police at the time before the boots were found. You see what I'm saying? Because as she said in that audio piece, I'm not surprised nothing has been found. But it's like, well, things have been found. The boots, Dylan's vehicle, the mud on the side of it, and so on. And then maybe some other stuff by other investigators along the way, such as that cabin trailer, which was associated with Jim Brenner, in which he originally owned. In that clip, her tone of voice and the language used is as if no progress has been made whatsoever. But as we know, in recent time, in that third interview by the East Idaho News Channel, there has been progression and police have been investigating, but cannot reveal certain stuff at this moment in time. So it seems like there is a contradiction, which would then make me believe that this news channel is using older footage to try and suit a certain idea or concept. Does that make sense? You can leave a comment down below or in the chat and let me know your thoughts on it. Is it outdated footage, audio, or is this up to date? Now, linking on, in that news report video, they then refer back to the two key main suspects, Jim Brenner and Chase Venstra. So the way they structured the news report is a little bit back and forth and a bit confusing. So they were saying how these two guys are most likely the ones responsible and they have the answers. And then it went on to some kind of video response interview by Candice. Let me share that with you now.
According to Dylan's mother, these two have the answers.
I absolutely believe so. I 100% believe so.
So you can make of that as you will. Now, in addition to that, Candice also had to say this.
And so we're just hoping they get that one piece that somebody can be charged and we can finally release it.
So yeah, kind of interesting from that response. In terms of the audio quality from that report, it must have been a dodgy internet connection, so that's why it sounded weird the way she was talking. I think I saw some comments down below on the channel saying the way she was pronouncing words, or it sounded like she was on drugs or sounding a little bit cocky, but I think that's just because of the delay and the audio issues, if that makes sense to you. Can't really infer much from her, body language there, pretty much a straight face. But from the way she spoke in the interview and the language used, it didn't sound of much confidence, the wording, like saying someone in response to finding a key suspect and having them charged. It implies that the mother isn't 100% sure that it's Jim or if it's Chase or if it's both together. You know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, previously she said she's 100% certain that both guys know something and that Jim is being treated as the main suspect at this moment in time. But it just feels like a bit of back and forth. Maybe not too obvious at times, but it just feels like it sometimes with maybe the wording as well. You know, one minute she says she's confident, and next thing she's saying, "Oh, I just hope to get someone." Now, does she mean someone in one of the two key suspects? Well, I hope it's either Jim or I hope it's Chase. Whichever one, just throw him away, get the justice. Is that what she means by someone? Or does she mean somebody else, like a third suspect, a fourth one, a fifth one? That's what I'm trying to understand. You might know better. You might be able to understand it clearer. You can leave a comment down below in the chat to clarify stuff, but I think it's just the way she's been at times. I don't know, a lot of things can go on behind the scenes and there might be a lot of pressure and stuff, and you might not always be able to think straight, but it's just the language at times, it's confused me, the way the mother has spoke. 1 minute this, next minute that, with information switching and changing in general by YouTubers, but also by certain family members. It makes it hard to follow. And if news channels are doing that as well, because that has been the case in the past, it's like, how do you look at it? You know what I'm saying? Now, I know there's been, I'll just bring up briefly, there's been a few people here and there that have made points saying that the mother is being a bit dodgy or shady, that she's starting some kind of witch hunt against Jim, that there is some kind of agenda, she doesn't like him, so she wants him to suffer, or she wants him to be the main suspect for whatever reason, just because she doesn't like him. And as for Chase, he's more innocent. You know, you hear those points going around. I guess time will tell, obviously, if there's like new information and developments, but it's interesting how people see certain things, like whether it be within the mother or others. So yeah, you can leave a comment down below what you think about that as well. Now, later in that news report video, it talks about how the mother wasn't aware that Chase Venstra was in court and cleared. So it's like, wait, so has Candice even given an actual official response to this day, like right now, real time, her reaction to it? Or what? It's kind of messy, because like with James Brenner, who appeared in court and it went underway, there was like some kind of like public coverage on the news, as well as Candice appearing in an interview just outside the court. You saw it yourself. That doesn't seem to have happened yet, and I don't know if it will do. So that's kind of interesting. And it's weird how she didn't know about it. Some FBI agent had to meet up with her to discuss it. And it's like, well, has anyone checked the public news? Or, you know, surely you would know about it sooner than later. Why are you late to hear about it? Like, is there a breakdown in communication or something? You know, you thought people who are closer to the case, involved in some way, friends, family, would be notified, you know, very quick, right? But that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, another key person did respond in recent time, and that's No Thanks, one of the investigators on YouTube who's covered the Dylan Rounds case as well as done interviews. The way No Thanks was thinking about the outcome was he's doubtful, you know, because there's not been any public press releases, you know, official stuff being shown, interviews being done. He's still doubtful. And, you know, I kind of understand that, because just like with the whole mobile phone being found at Dylan's, you know, Kurt said this, Kurt said that, or someone else said this, etc., etc. It's been spread around. But where's the actual evidence? Is there any photos? Is there any official documents that say item A, item B has been found? Well, I don't think so. It's just been a rumour. And obviously, quite a few of these rumours that have come around and stuff have faded out and not been reinforced. So is this another one? Maybe not, because you saw an official news channel covering it, and when they tend to do that, then something more serious has happened, something more official has gone down. I don't know if No Thanks has done an update since, because I haven't seen his video, but from what was previously discussed, he's doubtful, okay? And last but not least, within that news report, they said that Chase was never really involved within the investigation to begin with, the actual physical one. Well, if that's the case, then why did they really bother doing a search warrant on him? Was that search warrant to try and tie him to Dylan, or was it one of those just in general external ones because they had beliefs that he had firearms on him when he shouldn't have? and they were stolen. So that was like an individual separate thing. You know what I'm saying? I might have misunderstood it myself, but it's just interesting that. And then you also said that it's been misunderstood, the whole Chase situation. Now, who caused that in, the first place, the beginning? I'm not quite sure, because I covered it at some point, saying how things could be this and could be that. Keyword, could be, not it is. I didn't go all in. I was just giving little ideas and passing on the odd bits of information from what other people have said with the certain ties and links with Chase and Dylan and maybe other people here and there and so on. Could you say the news played a part in causing the misunderstanding? Was it the police, maybe? They didn't make their intentions of their investigation clear enough to certain people. Was it family? Or was it just other YouTubers? The ones that might have been investigating a bit longer, doing the presentations and the more in-depth stuff, and then they started, tying things together. If you just put certain things aside, overall, it's just, like an example of how things get messy and how the case evolves when maybe it shouldn't go a certain direction. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's been a few people here and there that might have got a bit tired or confused or received headaches from information and talks about stuff. I mean, I guess the only way of looking at it in this case is it's maybe a loose end tied up, a certain suspect cleared, so it means there's less suspicion now and there can be more focus on another individual, maybe Jim Brenner himself or somebody else. But then again, I would understand the other viewpoint of maybe some people who might be disappointed, maybe frustrated, suspicious that Chase has been cleared just like that, despite his criminal history and this and that, and involvement with Dylan just before he went missing. Maybe some people still believe that Chase plays a role in some way, maybe not direct, could be indirect. Some people also be thinking, well, what about Don? What about Don? Where's he? He could be involved as well. To some people, things might be cleared up. To others, it might just add more layers and more frustration and more ammunition. We'll see how things go though. So I think that rounds it all up. Just a quick little news update. I don't know if this will be a live premiere or it will be uploaded immediately because it is kind of like breaking news. As I said, you can let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts. Do you think Chase is guilty? Directly, indirectly, do you think he played a part in it, or is he just completely innocent and clean despite having a criminal record and as well being involved with Dylan at a point in time before he disappeared and so on? Do you think Candice is a little dodgy the way she's responding, or do you think the news has poorly represented her using the wrong footage, older footage which is outdated now to what she would reply with? Do you feel that there may be a witch hunt against Jim Brenner in the sense that everything's been put on him, all the blame, when he may not be, the only one? There might be other people that play a part too. Let me know down below, as I said. I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.